Today on episode 18 of the Home of Play podcast, new PlayStation patent suggests PS1, 2, and 3 backwards compatibility on the PS5. Sony invests $250 million into Epic. Ubisoft Forward showcases this Sunday. What can we expect? All that and more. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to episode 18 of the Home of Play podcast, where two best friends join forces to give you all the latest in PlayStation rumors, news, and reviews, and that's because we're PlayStation fans. I'm your host, Steve, and with me, I am joined by the king of platinum trophies himself, Chris.
Hello, hello.
If you like this and would like to support the Home of Play podcast, please help make others aware through the power of word of mouth. Every month we are growing, and it's all because of you lovely gamers helping to spread the cause. If you could also subscribe on your podcast service of choice, rate us 5 stars on iTunes or any other podcast service that allows it, it would also be very appreciated. If you have a burning question, comment, or complaint, we want to hear from you. Please send either of those to our email address of homeofplaypodcast@gmail.com, and we can read your questions on the show while playing patty cakes together alone. On today's episode, we have 9 news articles to discuss. But first, as always, let us begin with what we've been up to this last week. Go, Chris.
What have I been up to this week? Well, I've been on vacation, staycation, not really doing too much. Getting a couple things done around the place. Games-wise, Last of Us 2 finished. Yay!
More than finished.
Oh, yeah, it's more than finished. I got the platinum. It's done, finished. I didn't fully finish the second playthrough because I just didn't want to. I was kind of just done with it, so I did the chapter selecting backwards to get all the collectibles, and it's done, it's finished. I don't know if we want to talk about that at the end, but we'll leave it at that. It's a fine game, I guess. I also played, if you know how my setup is, between like 6:30 and like 9 o'clock at night, I have like a beacon of light shining in my place. I guess I need a better curtain. So playing any dark game, it makes it hard to actually see the game. So I was playing some brighter cartoony games. I was playing the first 2 Spyros because I got the reignited. I got platinums on both of those. They're very short games, very easy platinums, but it just brings back good memories as a kid playing some of them. Occasionally running into a challenge. I was like, I remember hitting this as a kid and I'm still hitting it now. There's like some where you have to do like specific speed, like running around in very like perfect timing. Otherwise you lose the challenge. So, but yeah, those are done. And then I picked up, I think 2 weeks ago, Control. Pretty good game. I was enjoying it. I like the company Remedy. They make some good stuff in there, specifically Alan Wake. Big fan of that one. And they even tie this one into Alan Wake, which is really cool. Definitely enjoyed the game. I finished it. I almost have the platinum. I'll probably actually get that today. I just have to do a couple more side quests, and that should be it. I wouldn't recommend paying full price for it because it is pretty short, and I don't see, like, there's no difficulty setting in the game. Like, it's just, I don't know if it adjusts to how you play or if it's just a stand. I don't remember picking a difficulty if there was one. So it can be tough at certain times. But yeah, I don't see a lot of replayability in this game. There's not really any need for it. There is like a dungeon that's kind of, I think, done randomly. I haven't really dived into it. I don't even know if I will. I think I'm kind of just done with the game and move on to the next one. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and sometimes just before bed, I have my PS3 in my bedroom. So I've been playing the original XCOM Enemy Unknown, I think it's called. I don't know why. I just like those tactical turn-based games. And it's surprisingly, I didn't finish it originally. I think my original save game got corrupted or something. I even noticed, even when I was playing the last couple of days, I actually saved and tried to reload my save, and it said the file was corrupted, and I'm like, what the heck? And then I tried loading it again. It worked fine the next time. So it's a very buggy game. I think they've all been very buggy, but I think I'm getting near the end of that one, but just a couple more things to do. Not close to the platinum on that one by any means. That one's a freaking hard time consumer. You have to play the game like 5 times. Ridiculous. Ugh. So that's pretty much it for me. Lots of gaming. How about yourself? What are you up to this week?
The opposite. I got to play a little bit more Dishonored 2 because I'm still somewhat into that. I want to do a lot of things. I just need the time for it. But I'm definitely thinking I want to beat Spider-Man New Game Plus still. So that's a want, but I didn't get time. I want to beat Dishonored 2, and then Dishonored 2 is interesting because like you can play it as the female, like the daughter or the father. So I'm playing as Corvo, the dad. So maybe I'll want. I just don't think I had a fun time with her the first time I tried playing the game, and I think the reason I stopped is I didn't like her powers or anything like that.
Are they significantly different from each other?
I think so, yeah.
Or just unlocks in a different order, maybe?
I think they are slightly different. Like Corvo directly teleports. She's like this weird archy jump thing.
Okay.
And I remember that kind of being a pain to me. And then I can't remember the differences. I'd have to look side by side, but I think they are slightly different. Like I know Corvo can like see through walls kind of, and I don't know if she had that, or again, like they could be little tweaks. Maybe they're not as different as I think, but I would definitely have to look that up. It's been too long since I played her.
How much did you got that one on sale, right?
Oh yeah, like for $20 or something. I got that and Prey.
And that was because you played the first one, right?
Yep.
And
yeah, I
you did
love the
enjoy
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's one that I should look into. And
I thought the first one was pretty darn good. Maybe it was just the time, but again, that was I think one of the first games I remember that kind of brought up the fact that you could play the whole game without killing anyone.
Well, and it's got a very Bioshock-esque to it.
Yeah.
Which I love the Bioshock series.
So yeah, those games are very well designed. So yeah, I want to finish that, and then I had some brief time. I tried the Mortal Shell demo on the Epic Games Store because I think that's the only way you can get the demo. So I played 20 minutes of that. And
Which one was that one again?
Mortal Shell's the Dark Souls clone almost.
Oh, right. I remember you showing it to me.
Yes. So it played okay. It's not Dark Souls, at least from what I can tell. I was only allowed to play with like one sword. He swung it pretty fast. Like that would be the biggest difference is speed. I find if you're comparing it to Dark Souls, I couldn't have a shield, which kind of sucked. I like having a shield. That's just the builds I go with. But instead you have this weird little stick that can somehow parry. It's weird. And like there's differences definitely. Like you can get health back if you use like you have like I think they call it focus or something else maybe, but there's these little bars and each time you fill one up you can use it. So like when you parry someone and stab them instantly, you could get health back, but it would take that bar. Apparently there's special moves you can do and that use one as well, yada yada yada, and you build that by constantly attacking or something like that. I just found they weren't really coming back to me that fast, but I also was playing like Dark Souls, so maybe I'm doing it wrong. And then the whole thing of the game is like instead of block, you harden. It's an ability that I think takes like 15 to 20 seconds to come back, but basically you'd want to harden just before an impact and it would knock your enemy off center and then you get that little open window. The only problem I had is it looks like later that the stronger enemies will be able to do it too, which seems like a huge pain in my ass. Like I just could see that being very frustrating. Again, it is supposed to be a more difficult game, so fine. And then yeah, it felt fine. I know there's a lot of crashing. Like it crashed just starting up for me, but then worked fine the second time I tried it. It might be something I look into later, but I don't think I'm going to day one it. Just, newer people, I think they're having a harder time. It looks pretty good for being like coming out of nowhere.
Is it just single player? Do you remember?
So far from what I've seen, yes.
Okay.
But hopefully I would like them to go multiplayer, but the true Dark Souls people, they like the difficulty of just going at it by themselves. So
did it seem like it could have co-op from what you saw?
I don't know. It feels a lot like Dark Souls. So yeah, like I could see it being a possibility later.
Look into it.
Hopefully. Maybe if they do number 2, we'll see. But that was interesting. And then like I think it looks better and felt good. Felt polished for me anyway. And yeah, that was it. For something's happened in my head and I just cannot bring myself to continue with Last of Us. I just think the story is I was very positive at first, and the longer I progress with it, the less I want to go back to it.
People are wanting a review. You keep saying it was coming.
I know. I feel bad, but it's just I don't know. I didn't want this to be something that like we had to finish games if we didn't genuinely want to do them. So
Yeah, no, if you just don't feel like playing it anymore, you don't feel like playing it anymore.
yeah, and one day I might finish it, but like I don't know. I could just shoot myself in the foot now, but I feel like this story has an agenda. I don't like that, and I also just I'm not enjoying it, like story-wise. And that's the biggest thing to me for these Naughty Dog games is I enjoy them for the story. I would never tell someone if I was purely rating gameplay, I don't think I'd ever put a Naughty Dog in my top 10. That's just me personally. I know some people can totally disagree with me, and that's totally fine too. Just for me, I'm not a guy that's like, oh yeah, Last of Us 1 was a 10 out of 10 for gameplay. I'm like, no, but the story was great. I love the first Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always the story that makes me want to drag through the coals to get more. And that's what Last of Us 2 started as, but then they took some weird choices, and I think the timeline's kind of fudged. There could have been better things, but that was it for me. And then maybe I'll finish it next week. Who knows? Like if I have extra time and I get really bored, but I just feel like I got a lot on my plate. Plus, Tsushima's coming out next Friday.
Yeah.
And I was not impressed by it too much, and now it's all I can think about. I don't. Maybe it's just new games news, so my brain's like, yay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of us. Let's get on with the news. We have 9 articles. I thought last week was a big week. Turns out I'm a liar. So let's get to article number 1. Sony patent suggests PS1, PS2, and PS3 could be backwards compatibility via the cloud. This one comes from IGN.
A Sony patent has surfaced suggesting that PS1, PS2, PS3 games could be emulated via the cloud. First posted to Twitter by user Renka Schedule, the tweet can be translated into English, at which point it reads, "A large number of game titles across PS1, 2, and 3 and various generations of game consoles can be stored and used via the cloud gaming library. These games can be run on a virtual machine that mimics the operating system associated with each game console." It continues. The diagram of the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 being emulated onto separate screens. It's not clear how this would be achieved or whether it is tied to the existing PlayStation Now system. It could be that the virtualized operating system solution is a means of not having to build backwards compatibility technology into new hardware, although this isn't mentioned in the patent documents. Later in the thread, Renka Schedule posts information from another patent, which suggests that users will be able to record and create mini-games from their gameplay and share it with friends via the cloud. That sounds as though it could be associated with the new DualSense controller's create button, and previous Sony patents have mentioned scene tagging, which could allow players to record playable sections of games and share them. So, yeah, this is interesting. So, I don't know. I guess that means it doesn't sound as though they're doing anything hardware-wise. So I'm thinking like putting a PS1, PS2 game into my system, my PS5 system, isn't going to do shit.
Yeah, I agree with you. The way I'm looking at it anyway, I totally agree with you. I feel like this is, unfortunately, going to be more of a, hey, we kind of gave you what you wanted, but now you got to subscribe for PlayStation Now. And that's just me. That's my prediction, is it's going to be a service that they attach with PlayStation Now, or if they bundle everything together and put a part of that. Either way, it's just going to be an incentive to subscribe to something and pay more money to get a feature that we want, but it's not the way we're getting it from other people, and I think that's where you're going to see some blowback on this.
Like, it's a good option for people who maybe have never played any of those systems to subscribe, but for true backwards compatibility, I want to be able to, like, something I've purchased in the past, I can use on this system. So I don't know if it's like I could put a PS1 disc in the system and it's kind of like just the key that connects to the cloud service to play the game. That's in my head how I want it to be.
And I don't know, because I didn't do it, but I thought I heard that's how Xbox did it originally.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I can't remember if it downloaded the game to the system itself or if you would just download or stream it or something.
I think that's how it downloaded.
So I'm hoping that this will be similar, or maybe it'll be some sort of like, if you have the manual from that game, read page 6 in Word 3, that type of thing where it's like it's trying to like do it. But anybody could do that, so you need some sort of unique identifier. So
Yeah.
I don't know. True backwards compatibility in my mind is you put an old disc in and it just plays. Or I don't care if it's running a virtual system where it's emulating these things. That's fine. But don't make me have to subscribe to things I already own.
Yeah, and that would be the weird thing too, is like my other concern is that it's going to add games throughout time, but like you're not going to have all of them, kind of like how they talked with the PS4 games being backwards compatible.
Yeah, they'll slowly release them.
Yeah, and that I feel like, oh, that's not what people want. And like I'm not that guy. Like, I don't care about backwards compatibility. Like, I care about the PS4 just because some of those games I may still want to play on my PS5.
Yeah.
That's the only one I care about. Like, some other ones, yeah, it's nice here and there. But, PS4 didn't have the best backwards compatibility. Some would say it didn't. And I just never cared, though. Like, I never went and plugged in my PS3 again. I don't care about my PS2 games anymore. Like, they're just old to me. And like, again, I'm not speaking for everyone. Whoever wants it, I understand it. But I don't. So like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, even though I don't, I still look at this and I'm like, oh, I don't think this is what people wanted. And if they do it the way I see them doing it in my head, I just, like I said before, there's going to be blowback.
And I feel like this is probably like how we're talking. It's probably what it's going to be because they're already, they're releasing one version of the console that's purely digital.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, in theory, if we're paying $100 more for a Blu-ray player, is that all we're getting is a Blu-ray player with that system? Or obviously it doesn't sound like they're putting any new type of hardware in it or old hardware to make this thing backward compatible. So it's like, I'm almost more leaning towards the digital version apart from losing the backward compatibility of all
I'm only getting the other one because when I get my 4K TV, I'll probably want to buy 4K
movies,
Blu-rays. Yeah. And that's the only reason, because I don't want to get a 4K Blu-ray player.
No, why?
If that thing already will have one. So same reason I never bought a DVD player or a Blu-ray player, right? Like Sony's always been there to give me the medias.
I'm surprised Sony just doesn't stop selling Blu-ray players and just PlayStations. You want your watch Blu-ray movies? Go buy a PlayStation.
I don't know price comparison, but that's basically how PS2 worked.
Well, back when Blu-ray came out, it was almost cheaper.
Oh, really?
To buy the PS3.
And that's saying something because that thing originally came out at like $600.
Yeah, maybe not right originally when it came out, but at some point we were almost on par with price. So, yeah, something to a little bit of news, I guess, for you. It's about the backward compatibility.
Yeah, it's not nothing. So take that. Article 2, Sony acquires minority stake in Epic for $250 million. This one's updated and from IGN.
Sony has acquired a minority interest in Epic with a strategic investment of $250 million. The minority stake will mean that Sony and Epic will be able to collaborate more closely together in areas of games, entertainment, and technology. Epic's powerful technology in areas such as graphics place them at the forefront of game engine development, with Unreal Engine and other innovations. There's no better example of this than the revolutionary entertainment experience Fortnite, Sony president and CEO Kenichiro Yoshida said in a statement. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney has said that Sony began discussing buying its $250 million stake in the Fortnite creator after the Unreal Engine 5 PS5 demo, explaining, "I guess they liked it." Responding to concerns that there was a financial agreement made behind closed doors to ensure PS5 tech was used to showcase the UE5 demo, Sweeney countered by saying serious investment discussions began after this event. So yeah, it's interesting. Who doesn't want money into Epic, I guess, right now, eh?
Yeah, I'm looking at this differently than it sounds like everyone. I just read into this like PlayStation now gets a cut of a check from one of the most profitable developers out there right now. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, now they have a closer relationship. They have this. And I'm like, not really. You're a minority stake. It's not like they're going to get an exclusive deal for anything.
No, they're not going to get exclusive rights to like the UE5 engine.
No. And their voice won't even matter when they're doing the CEO table read. Like, the board meeting comes and Sony's going to have not even a full chair in that board. So I don't really know why people are making a fuss about this. I honestly, I wouldn't look into this too hard. Like at best, you might get a season pass on Fortnite like a week early on PlayStation, but I honestly don't even think that will happen.
No, this is probably all stuff behind the scenes going on that we probably won't see the results, or we'll realize that the two are connected.
Yeah, well, because a lot of people use the example of the Unreal 5 being shown on PS5 was because of this, and it's like now the update just says like, no, that was even going to happen regardless that they invested or not. So right. I wouldn't look into this too much. It's cool, like it's a smart move for Sony. Like you're going to get fat stacks. I think I read something about Fortnite making like 400 million in just April. So I'm like, yeah, whatever piece of the pie, you're still going to get stupid money.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, wow. You got to have those cosmetics, son.
Oh, man.
You can't be killing those noobs with not Fox mask thing.
Remember back in the day playing old PS2, PS3, PS1 games where you unlock costumes by doing things, by being skillful?
But we are talking about a free game. That's why I never have beef with Fortnite, because we're talking about a free-to-play game.
Originally Fortnite wasn't a free game.
You're
but
right.
Then again, it wasn't a battle royale either.
When they re-released, though.
I think the game is probably like forgotten about what it used to be.
Because that's where
nobody even remembers what it was.
That's where I'd raise a flag if we're talking about pub where you have to buy it and then you're having to buy all these costumes to support them.
Yeah.
I mean, again, cosmetics is always like while you're making the decision to buy. Right. Nobody's putting a gun to your head and be like, you can't play next season if you didn't buy this costume, right?
And that's the big thing is like, don't be paying to win, right?
Yep.
They don't pay to buy this super gun that kills everything in one hit.
Like Battlefront 2?
Oh, God. There's so many games like that. Pay now to unlock all your skills so you don't have to spend 5 years to get all the abilities.
And like that's my weird thing with like Ubisoft does that with Assassin's Creed all the time. Like, oh, do you want to get all these
fast passes and stuff like that?
And like don't get me wrong, again, it's still your choice. You don't have to do it, but it is kind of like I see it and I'm like, yeah, I wish I could do that, but I'm not going to give you money for like you've made your game so tedious that I want to pay money to get everything.
You make the game have that grind.
And I did find that in Odyssey. Like that is, you can put me down on paper on that one. Odyssey was intentionally drawn out. When you compare it to Origins, it was made lengthier intentionally so you would buy that crap. And it kind of pissed me off. I enjoyed Odyssey. I put 80 hours into it, but that pissed me off a little.
It's kind of becoming the trademark for Ubisoft games is to have this pay to accelerate, not to win.
Nope,
to accelerate.
Exactly.
Speaking of Ubisoft, we're going into article number 3. How to watch Ubisoft Forward and what games to expect. This article comes from IGN.
Ubisoft Forward is a digital press conference where the publisher will reveal news, updates, interviews, and more about its current and upcoming games. We've got all the information you need to ensure that you don't miss the show and the opportunity to pick up Watch Dogs 2 for free. Free games. Yay! Ubisoft Forward takes place on Sunday, July 12th. All the games announced for Ubisoft Forward are Trackmania, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, The Division 2, Just Dance 2020, that's got to be a greatest hits, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, Hyperscape, not a Hyperscape, Far Cry 6, and a few other surprises. How to get Watch Dogs 2 for free. To get your free copy of Watch Dogs 2, you'll need to log into your Uplay account anytime between the airing of the pre-show and the main show. If you're on the fence about picking up, check out the Watch Dogs 2 review on IGN's website for their thoughts.
I have to admit, I'm excited for this. As much as I kind of am down sometimes on Ubisoft, but to be honest, I play pretty much every game they put out.
And I'm with you. Like, I'm not a Watch Dogs fan. Like, I felt burnt really hard by the first one, so I never played the second one. Not to mention, I also have this thing about, like, LA stuff, and, like, Watch Dogs 2 came out looking pretty douchey to me. So, it didn't interest me on top of just being negative. But otherwise, like, just like you said, I play a majority of their games.
Yeah, like I'm excited for Watch Dogs, Valhalla, definitely.
I'm also noticing they're not mentioning Gods and Monsters.
That's probably 2021.
I guess it's just weird.
Or it could be part of the few surprises.
Unless they just really are pissed off that footage leaked.
They never did put a release date yet for it, eh?
I don't think so.
So maybe it's one of the few surprises that's gonna be surprise. It's gonna be a launch title or something.
Maybe and that's what I'm kind of hoping. Like, don't get me wrong, they probably don't want to like compete with themselves, so they're not going to like release another November game that we know of.
It honestly wouldn't surprise me though, because
it'd be great if they did that.
I know, but it wouldn't surprise me because they pushed so many games last year. So they've had a lot of time to work on things in theory. So hopefully maybe they will surprise us with a launch title.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was the last game they put out?
The Ghost Recon one, I think.
Oh, okay.
The one that it didn't do very well.
No, that I think is another reason why a lot got delayed.
The microtransactions just made that game depressing.
Surprise.
And there was so many issues. I mean, there's bugs where it's like the vehicles were getting glitched in the walls, and apparently you could skip half the game or something.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's still in the game. Like, it's intentional that you could actually go to like the final mission right at the beginning of the game or something. It's really weird. I don't know. Stuff I've read, not personally played.
I don't know. I'm interested. I know. I look forward to more Valhalla stuff. We're kind of going to touch on that a little bit more right away, actually.
Oh, I guess too. Also, I think the Division 2 just had a DLC pack that came out. Just came out. So I'm wondering what the other
second raid is. What it was.
Yeah, I'm wondering what more are they going to announce for the Division 2? Like another DLC pack? Or
could be, because if
pass?
it's just a raid, like, yeah, they could do, like, maybe they're going to talk about, like, oh, like, maybe they did go back to New York already, so I'm not sure what they're going to do.
Maybe a new season pass?
Could be, yeah, for sure. But yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to that. It sounds like Chris is looking forward to that, so you'll definitely hear more from our thoughts next week after we've seen it and obtained our free copy of Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, I already have the PlayStation 4 version. I will see if I can get a PC version as well. I did enjoy it. I did play with one of my buddies. We had some good times with the co-op, and the story was okay. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I remember enjoying my time with it. And there's a lot of goofy things that you can encounter, like just random NPCs just throwing up on the street or something, just like random just stuff like that. So it was good.
Just keeping on the Ubisoft train here, we're going to go to article number 4, and that is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. 30 minutes of gameplay was leaked online. So 30 minutes of the video leaked online earlier this week and gave us an in-progress, quotation marks, view of the soon-to-be-released Assassin's Creed game. Did you watch any of this?
I watched maybe 3 minutes of it, and you can tell it's kind of like
It's got to be early
version of the game.
I wouldn't even use the words beta. That's got to be alpha.
Yeah, it's maybe alpha. I hope it is anyway.
No, and honestly... as much as we complain about microtransactions and this or that, Origins and Odyssey came out pretty polished. Like, you're going to get, in an open world, going to have your glitches, blah, blah, blah. But pretty polished. What I saw here was not polished, and that just tells me we're dealing with a very early like release that I don't think they wanted anyone to see. I'm personally not concerned. I've seen some people lose their minds online. I wouldn't be worried. They're not going to release it like that. Like, there's AI proms I watched. There was, just the faces were moving even though they weren't, and that was kind of off-putting. And honestly, that's why I stopped watching after the 10 to 15 minute mark. Yeah. Just because I'm like, this is just, I can wait one more week to see it revealed better with what we just talked about.
And I mean, it's Assassin's Creed. I mean, we kind of know what we're getting. They're not going to stray too far from the formula. Yeah. They've really gotten a lot of success from their Origins and Odyssey game. I mean, you put those two games together, you can almost get potentially 300 hours of gameplay.
I think the only thing I took away that was beneficial to take away from is, like, unfortunately, it looks like naval combat's coming back. I really think they've just beaten that horse to death. Like, really, like, I get it. People praise you with Black Flag. Give it up. It's done. We're done with it. Like, they added some other neat stuff. Like, the video showed using a battling ram or whatever.
Battering ram?
Yeah, thank you. And going after these, like, giant walls and blah, blah, blah. That looked cool, and that's new. Okay, do that. Let's get away from the ships. Vikings had very tiny little ships. Like, they were two people side to side. That's the width of some of these ships. That's why they mess with England so much, because they could go upstream. And England just didn't think any ship that was crossing oceans could also do that. It was one of their greatest strengths. So, like, having naval combat just doesn't make sense to me.
Did they ever show the map?
No,
because I don't want it to be another, like, 40 or 50% of the map is water.
I'm afraid of that as well.
Like, it's not lore wise. They didn't do naval combat. Like,
they
not
didn't
like
do
that
naval
anyway.
combat. They just they did travel a lot, obviously, like
Yeah.
you know, Paris, England, blah blah blah. Even my own family is actually from Vikings, and we settle in Ireland, so it's you know, but yeah, so I'm with you. That's my greatest fear. Too much water again.
Apparently, too, in the footage, they show a boss fight, but I didn't watch that. I don't want to see it.
I didn't see that at all either.
That's what I read. There's apparently a boss fight in that 30 minutes, so I just didn't want to see it.
Yeah, I just want to see more polished stuff. Like I said, we'll just wait until Sunday.
2 days. Just wait 2 days.
Yeah, just wait 2 days. But I just saw a lot of negative comments, so I figured we could speak up and say, no, don't worry. It is pre builds. I'm not too concerned at all. They have a better, track record than that. So, that's enough Ubisoft. We're going to article number 5. Kingdoms of Amalur, the Re-Reckoning. Slight delay, but there is a new DLC expansion announced for it, which is kind of awesome. This one comes from IGN.
Kingdoms of Amalur, Re-Reckoning, has gotten a short delay and will now be released for PC, Xbox One, and PS4 on September 8th. The remaster of the 2012 game will also be getting a brand new DLC expansion, Fate Sworn, in 2021. Originally scheduled for August 18th, this marks only a short delay to the remaster, which includes all the original DLC, including Teeth of Naros and Legend of Dead Kell, and will have improved graphical fidelity.
I never played the first one. They very blatantly, in my opinion, were trying to go World of Warcraft like aesthetics on that game.
As close to the bar as you can, but not quite over.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't like those aesthetics. I don't like cartoony, very colorful. I like fantasy. I just don't like the colorful kitty fantasy, and that's why I just never clicked with Warcraft. And this one looked like that, so I gave it a pass. I heard lots of people actually said it was one of the best games of that year. So I'm kind of interested in this. Like, now that it's going to look a little bit better, I'm hearing possible tweaks in gameplay even. So a lot of good things. Like, I really thought this was just going to be a blatant re-release, but it sounds like it's more than that. Plus, they're putting DLC, so that's kind of cool. I actually think I'll pick this up. That's just my quick. I think I'm getting
It's
it.
always been on my list, but I never picked it up. But I'll be honest, right now in my head, I'm picturing what you said, a World of Warcraft that actually had imagine if it actually had realistic graphics.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be an amazing
Oh no,
game.
for sure, because they have a great lore, all that stuff.
Oh,
just aesthetically, that game's
No,
always
yeah,
been
it's
off-putting.
it's not like, Borderlands has that cell shaded type of style. Warcraft has not a similar style, but it has its own style, but it's not realistic in a way. And it's not cartoony either, but it's somewhere in the middle.
It's very middle, yeah.
Yeah. This game has definitely been on my list. I honestly probably just forgot about it. Do you know the company?
Okay, so I can't remember the original one, but THQ Nordic bought the rights from them.
And they're the ones who remastered
Yes.
it. Okay.
Them and their legion of a million freaking companies that they've bought now.
They have a fairly good track record, so.
I think also Destroy All Humans they're releasing, I think, right
Oh,
away.
yeah, those
and
were
they
goofy
also
fun.
bought that. So again, they own so many properties now, it's ridiculous. But I'm happy that they're doing this. Honestly, I'm just happy to get more games this year.
Yeah,
because with all the delays and other bullcrap that we're dealing with, it'll just be good to have game.
I could see them not wanting to delay too long though. If they delay it too long, it might go into the PS5, Xbox.
And then you're
Series X.
dealing with nobody wants to go up against Cyberpunk, in my opinion.
No.
So I think everyone who is looking at that window wants to be out before November.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people strayed away from September because they originally thought that's when it'd have to go. But now that they moved to November, I could see a lot of people going back to September.
Okay, we'll go into article number 6. Capcom says 80% of its games are sold digitally. This article comes from IGN.
According to Capcom, 80% of its games are sold digitally, and the company is encouraged by the trend to increase the number to 90% before long. Wow, that's optimistic. During the Q&A portion of its recent annual shareholders meeting, Capcom was asked what its plans were for strengthening digital sales. Capcom revealed that its current digital download sales ratio is approximately 80%. While it ultimately depends on how our customers behave going forward, for the time being, we are promoting our digital strategy with an objective of 90%, since there are some customers who prefer to own discs, end quotes, Capcom added. As reported by Games Industry Biz, Capcom's digital sales have exploded, growing from 53% last year to 80%. Even Capcom predicted growth to only reach 75% this year, but it appears that the shift to digital is happening faster than anticipated.
It's not surprising though, because I mean, hell, the PlayStation's making a system that's going to be just digital. So I think this is definitely going to be the trend.
And we've seen it everywhere. Like even them actually saying that last year before COVID was already over 50%.
It's a lot.
That's crazy. That's already a huge growth. Don't get me wrong. COVID, I think, definitely accelerated things faster than people thought.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it everywhere. I removed it from the article, but also EA was saying that they're above 50%. PlayStation saying they're above 50%. Yeah, it's just growing exponentially. And I think digital's the future. I mean, everyone knew it, but it's not only the future, but I mean, when you're talking 80%, good God, man.
Well, it also helps too that a lot of these a lot of these companies have better digital stores now.
Well, and digital sales.
Yeah.
Like, you know, before it used to always I'd always hear Steam Summer Sale and no one was really competing with that. But now you're going in and, you know, we'll talk about it in the homework, but there's just deals all the time and they're digital.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're going to I don't know, GameSpot, EB, wherever you're going. You're not finding these deals there.
What was the last physical? This will be a game. What was the last physical game you bought for PC?
Oh wow,
it's a tricky one, right? I have to think too much. Skyrim.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the collector's edition. I still have the dragon.
I'm gonna need a few minutes. Oh no, you know what? The last one I would have bought would have been StarCraft 2, like the expansions.
Okay.
But that's because I wanted the collector's editions.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, since then it's like. And I guess that's not a Steam game either, so maybe that tells you why I bought the physical version.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I just think this is funny because we talked about last week the price of games going up, but now they're making more money on the digital, which means they're getting more money. So yeah, normally with inflation, games have not actually gone up in a long time. I know in certain countries like Australia, blah, 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 but it's due to weaker dollar. It's not actually, you know, prices going up. So we talked about last week with prices seemingly going up. I just feel like it sucks to know that technically this could almost cover that. Like, you know, if they're selling more digital, let's say Capcom specifically, 80% of your games, you're not paying a third party.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I guess I can't say that Capcom would actually be paying a third party, but I'm saying like, you know, PlayStation, all that stuff, they're going to keep more. Everyone's still keeping more, you know what I'm saying? And like, it just sucks that they're going to raise prices when this is the trend.
So do you know if this is like sales, like money are they talking about, or like copies of the game?
No, this is just if you're talking about sales, physical versus digital. It's not money.
So like quantities. Because
Yes.
I mean, the nice thing is like there's how many, I can count quite a few games that I've bought physical copies of. And then eventually it's on sale so much where you're paying $4. I pay that $4 just to get the digital version of the game.
Persona 5, I own it digital, and because I think I got it physical first, sold it just because, you know, I started getting tired of physical, and now
Right.
I own it digitally, and now I own Royal physically again, only because I wanted the collector's edition.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have went digital as well. And digital already went on sale on that too, and
Yeah.
that's only like a month old.
People are inclined to pay that small price for the convenience of the digital version, right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing I always worry about too, is like how many years into the future where all these games I've added to my library, where at some point they take the game off their servers and I won't be able to download it, even though it's something I paid for.
Mm.
I'm kind of deep down, I'm worried about that in the future.
Well, that was always the thing I heard with Stadia and people's criticisms on that service is like, because you're going beyond just storing something for people to download. You're literally having systems running this game.
Yeah.
How long till this game is so unpopular that they just don't feel it's worth their time? And then it's something, you know, hypothetically, let's say we had a Stadia account. I buy, I don't know, let's just throw a stupid game. So I buy like one of the Call of Duties. Now it's 10 years later. Don't know why I'd want to play it, but let's say I want to, because I bought it like in there, I technically own it, and then they just stop using it while you lost that forever.
Oh, don't you know you just buy a subscription service and you get backward compatibility and you just pay for the game all over again?
Well, maybe, but again, like that's choosing, right? Like you just don't know.
No.
And like, but I mean, the same, like this is a weird fight because the same thing could be said with your games of a service. How long does Division 1 stay out there?
Yeah. How long do they keep patching it and upgrading it and
Yep.
maintaining the servers? I mean, there's some games out there, you can find them, where there's like, you go on and there's like 4 people playing, trying to find a team of 8 people to play with or something. There's tons of those games out there, but
oh yeah, and there's newer ones like Anthem that probably have the same problem.
that would probably be shut down before some of those old ones.
Probably. Well, even Final Fantasy 11 still like working somehow.
Oh yeah, that one's still. I mean, I don't see updates regularly for it, but I assume it's still getting patched
somehow. I mean, people are paying for that, so I guess it keeps it alive.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, there's just a lot of games where I could see like that problem already exists. So it's like, wow, man, like I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'm happy for Capcom if that was their goal to increase digital sales.
I honestly, it's better for them if they do digital. Keep more money, be happy, make more games.
Right.
So I'm for it, and I'm becoming more of a digital fan myself.
So we'll move on to article number 7. I think this is one that you're interested in. Vampire, the Masquerade Swansong to take a bite out of PS5 and Xbox Series X in 2021. This article comes from Destructoid.
Publisher Nacon has announced a new title, Vampire the Masquerade Swansong, which is headed to PS5, PC, Xbox Series X in 2021, alongside current gen consoles. In Swansong, players will step into the role of 3 Bostonian vampires whose lives and fates become intertwined with the arrival of a new Prince of the Boston,
Camarilla.
Hazel Everson. I don't know these names, aka the Swan. Let's just go with the Swan. Well, the Swan has designs for staunchly enforcing the long-kept laws of the Masquerade. Murder, betrayal, and sect infighting soon led to blood and mayhem on the streets of Boston. Wow, this freaking article.
So many words.
Well,
different words that aren't common.
No, and they just seem like they don't fit in a sentence. Vampire the Masquerade Swansong will launch in 2021 for PS4 again, apparently. That is not me. That is a control paste, so don't blame me. PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Long before then, we can expect to see the long-awaited launch of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which is the one I want, but I don't believe is coming out this year on the same platform, still yet to receive an official release date, which is why I don't believe they're coming out this year, but I really want them. I watched the trailer, not much to say. Looks like a lot of shenanigans happens.
Is that the cinematic one that I was watching?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very hot. It got me hot, but I just don't, I don't know much. I don't really like the intertwined 3 people thing. It reminds me too much of GTA 5, and I didn't like that.
Yeah, I guess it depends how. If you're just randomly switching between the characters, like Lost Vikings, then I guess it's different from. Unless it's, it depends if it's a well-written game where you're going in and out of each character, then it might work. I've seen it work.
Yep. So it's just another game, a little reveal, but we don't know too much more. So if you're like me and you're looking forward to Masquerade Bloodlines 2, this might interest you as well. But not really much to go on there. Article number 8, the Mafia remake gets hit with a delay. This one's from Destructoid.
The Mafia remake has to wear cement galoshes for an extra month. It's not sleeping with the fishes for good, but it won't surface on time either. Developer Hangar 13 has revealed that COVID-19 related issues have forced a 1-month delay of Mafia Definitive Edition. Originally set for launch on August 28th, it's now pushed back to September 25th. Some would call it fashionably late, others would say it's not wise to keep the Godfather waiting. For a taste of that sweet organized crime, Hangar 13 has a gameplay reveal trailer coming out later this month on July 22nd. We'll see the Mafia remake in action.
This one's also one I'm interested. I'd never played the original, but seeing that it's remade, it's not just like a enhanced edition.
Yeah, remake instead of a remaster.
Yeah, I'm just actually kind of like, I want to try. I'm not usually into the mob thing, but like I like the older mob stuff because it's more classy, tasteful, in my opinion. Like, they got style and swag that you're not going to find in Breaking Bad. The dude's hanging outside a trailer with his underpants. I don't, yeah, that stuff doesn't interest me. This one, yeah, I'm really hoping it feels good and the missions matter. And I don't know, I think I've always heard good
things. Did you play the second or third one?
Third one, but unfortunately the repetition and the no fast travels broke that game for me.
Yeah.
I did like the third story, though. That was the strongest thing about it. I shouldn't go completely negative on it. Like, it could have used more time in the oven, but I really thought the story was great.
Yeah, I played the second and third one. Enjoyed both of them. I'm not typically a guy who enjoys like mafia sort of stuff. I never did play the first one, so I definitely going to keep an eye out on this one. And I don't see myself paying full price for it, but I'll probably get it when it goes on sale at some point.
I'm interested in what the price would be. Like, I know you can get that 3-pack right now with the 2 definitive editions, and then when it comes out, you'd get this one for free.
Yeah.
So I guess I could do that. I just don't have an interest in playing 3 again, and 2 just being re-enhanced definitive edition.
2 was good. I remember enjoying 2.
I just don't want to play like old games old. So if they remade it like this one, I'd probably play it. But yeah, I'll get this one for sure. You can look forward to me either praising or complaining about it later. Article 9. Far Cry 6 leaks via PSN update. Ubisoft teases official teaser trailer. This one's Game Informer.
Ready for another Far Cry ahead of its special digital. You're shaking your head. Ahead of its special digital event this Sunday. Ubisoft's upcoming Far Cry 6 reveal looks like it has leaked via PSN. A post on video game forum Resetera details the leak and provides documentation for materials that have now been pulled down. Of note, the description for the game allegedly contains descriptions of cross-buying options for the title, meaning your PlayStation 4 purchase would support a free upgrade to an enhanced version on PlayStation 5. Surprising to no one, the other supporting text appears to place the player in the role of a revolutionary fighting against a brutal dictator. Hopefully we'll find out a lot more about Far Cry 6 during the Ubisoft Forward event coming up this weekend.
So yeah, I shook my head because what was it, Far Cry 5, was it New Dawn?
Yeah.
Just was horrible in my opinion. Just god awful. It seemed like they wanted to compete with Rage 2, but Rage 2 wasn't even that big, so I don't know why they wanted to compete with it, but they wanted this post-apocalyptic, colorful, weird thing, and I just didn't like it. 5 I was okay with, but again, nothing's really hit me. Like, they haven't hit gold since 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, 3 was great. I actually, if you look right now on I think it's the July sale on the store, they did, apparently, I didn't even know, they did a remastering, I guess, or kind of a remake. It's hard, I don't know, maybe, I think it's a remaster of the third one. It's on sale right now for, I think, $4.
Yeah.
So I originally had that one on PC, but I actually just bought it for, it's $4 for the PS4. So, but I would agree with you. 3, see, that's the thing is, like, you play like the fourth one and you love the third one the best. You play the third one, you like the second one the best. It just seems to work out that way, that you always prefer the previous one. It's definitely a good series, and they're always the villains are always dramatic, which is really cool.
Yeah, they always try to like one up the last villain. But I also think that's why they have so many problems, because like 5 New Dawn, the villains were horrible. Just 2 sisters that seem kind of corny as shit to me, but that's my own take. Yeah, I don't see myself doing it. We'll see. Like, I am interested on the new baddie, the Breaking Bad dude that everyone loves.
Yeah, I can't. I wish I'd hear his voice, because it's spelt like Giancarlo Esposito, but I know you don't. I don't think you pronounce this Gian. Giancarlo.
Spell it like it sounds. Otherwise,
yeah,
I'm not reading
I don't
it
think
right,
it's pronounced that way, but yeah, it's the guy from Breaking Bad who's an excellent villain. So I'm already stoked because of that reason alone.
Yeah. So I'll have to see where it takes place. What's my environment? Please don't just put me on another island. Again, I feel like 3, they struck gold. They knew it. It's almost like Assassin's Creed's problem with the boats. They got praise for it once, and now they just won't stop.
They lean into it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess they didn't do an island on the 5th one. They surrounded you by mountains.
Oh, okay.
There was a small island on it, though.
You're right. You're right. But it still felt so. I mean, yeah, it was a little different, but yeah, I don't know.
Gotta love those border walls.
Yeah. So I don't know. I probably, unless I change my mind, I'm not too interested, but it sounds like we can look forward to hearing your opinion.
Yeah, I'll definitely pick this one up at some point. It probably won't be a day one purchase, but it's a free upgrade to the PlayStation 5. I might wait for the PlayStation 5 version of this.
Which makes me think that this might come out before the new consoles.
Yeah, no, it says PlayStation 4.
Oh, I know, but that means, like, I don't think there's an official release date for it. Like, they haven't talked about it, so
no,
is this coming out, like, are they going to say,
one?
like, hey, guess what? This is coming out, like, October or September.
Yeah, I mean...
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Honestly, we'll probably find out on Sunday during the Ubisoft
You heard
event.
it here first, September launch. That's my prediction. September.
For this to come out?
Yeah, actually.
You think that soon?
I could be crazy, but just, like, because they're saying free update to PS5 makes me feel like it's coming out before launch. You're not going to go in November with Cyberpunk and all these other games. And why would they step on their own feet with Valhalla? I'm going crazy. I'm saying September.
Yeah, I didn't think it would, though, because I figured Watch Dogs was going to be sooner than this. They push things so long that they're going to be releasing like 5 big titles within like an 8-month block.
Yeah. But I just think Watch Dogs is going to have problems because of what they're trying to make it. It's going to be the game that probably takes the longest to make because of the way they're trying to make it.
Yeah.
So that's why I could see this totally coming out first.
Yeah. You could be right on that one.
So yeah, that's all our news articles. We got through them in record time, which means we have more time to talk about our homework. Get ready for some homework, Morty. First homework for you is PlayStation's July savings sale discounts more than 200 titles. This one comes from mobilesyrup.com, and you can look at all those 200 titles there.
The sale has started already, I think, as of Tuesday this week or Wednesday this week. So
I'm going to be looking at this when I get home.
Yep. There's some bigger titles in there, but I didn't see too much for me because some of the good sales, I already own the game. So, but there's definitely an okay list.
Also, we have for homework the PS5, our first look at a PS5 physical game disc. This one comes from Game Informer.
Case, not the disc.
Yeah, sorry. And it's everything you expect. It's the same case as a PS4 minus the PS5 itself.
Yeah, the title bar at the top
is white, just like the console.
I was complaining earlier before we started recording this because I got my other games in front of me, and I'm looking at the PS3 games where the header where the PlayStation is black background and the font of the words is white, and then the PlayStation 4 one, the background is blue with the font as white. And then now, I guess they want to do white because, hey, let's do a white system. And then they chose the font as black, which I'm like,
I'm fine with it. I mean,
revolt.
I don't mind. Really don't mind. I actually like it.
It's fine.
I just still wish my console wasn't going to be white. That's my biggest concern here. But anyway, it looks neat. I'm like we just talked about this. Like I'm not buying physical stuff, so this won't matter to me at all.
Actually, you're quite right. Unless I get a deal on a physical copy, I don't buy physical anymore.
Yeah, if I want a collector's edition, that's the only way. I'm probably going physical.
Yep.
So, but if you want to look at it, like I said, it's probably everywhere. But we found it at Game Informer. Go there. Next one is Dark Pictures Anthology. Little Hope has a new release date. I guess we got a little delay on that. Comes from Game Informer. You can watch the new trailer that reveals the new date. And if you're looking forward to that game, go check it out.
A new PlayStation Celebration Pack can now be claimed for PlayStation Plus Fortnite players. You can get the information about that from FortniteInsider.com, as well as all PS5 game announced list. PushSquare.com has a list of every game that has been, officially announced for the PlayStation 5. So if you check out PushSquare.com, you can get that list there.
And see all those indies.
Nah, there's quite a few. Well, there's some big ones there too.
No, for sure.
Some of this, now that more companies are revealing what's coming, there's
they got some work. They got some work coming ahead with that Ubisoft reveal.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then I hear rumors that PlayStation's probably going to do another showcase in August.
Well, they seem to like that format of how they do those reveals. So
I'm hoping the next one might have some games. Don't get me wrong, but hopefully we'll finally actually talk. Because I was talking about this with a friend recently, and I said, thinking back to the PS4, I mean, they revealed it at the E3, and that day, or the next day, sorry, we were able to pre-order. So you're thinking about pre-orders for a console in June. We don't know what the hell the price is officially. We don't know the date officially. We don't even know what the hell it does or looks like or features officially. And I'm just like, okay, and if the showcase is until August, like that's going to be kind of crazy crunch for them to like, not that I think the PS5 is going to outsell the PS4, especially at launch or anything, but I mean, to not know your pre-order numbers like until August for something that's going to come out like 3 months after, like that's kind of crazy. So I'm just impressed that they're going to wait that long, honestly.
Yeah. It's cutting it to the wire.
This pissing contest with Microsoft and the price, like I honestly really think they're just hoping that at the end of the month when Xbox does its conference that they're going to finally talk about all their cards and a price, so then they can come up like, oh, thank God. Yeah. Like,
2 days later, we have a reveal.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay, 2 weeks, fine.
So yeah, that is everything we had for homework, your news, all that fun stuff. But don't be sad. We're going to come back next week. Talk about those Ubisoft games. Don't you guys forget. Thank you for listening to the show as always. But unfortunately, your two hosts are signing off.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And starts with a pre-show at 11 a.m. PT, 2 p.m. ET, 8 p.m. CEST, and 4 a.m. AST. The show itself begins 12 p.m. PT, 3 p.m. ET, 9 p.m. CEST, and 5 a.m. AS.
It's July 12th. Look up your local time.
With the post-show following 45 minutes later.
So what time would that be for me to get that copy of Watch Dogs 2?
I think you're going to want to watch at the CEST or the AST.
The CIST or the AST?
Yeah, the AST. I don't. What the hell is AEST? Like
airspace time.
Apparently.
No, it must be. Well,
is that the time that ET had?
CEST.
Oh my God.
What would be Eastern? Eastern. It's the Arctic time.
I think it's what ET had when he came. When he wanted to phone home, he had to do an AEST time.
Yeah, AEST.
Exactly.
Phone home, Spielberg.